Hi and welcome to Sid Says, your weekly Spurs edition of all the latest news, transfer gossip. Today I've got 5 players and most importantly we have 2 new signings. That's correct. Tottenham Hotspur have actually bought 2 players. We've got Pierluigi Golini and we've got Brian Gill, a goalkeeper and a winger, and all the best to Eric Lamela, who has departed Tottenham Hotspurs and gone to Sevilla in exchange, plus money for Brian Gill. So, on today's edition, we have a few players. So, let's start off with Joaquin Correa. Now, this one has come up yesterday, and as I believe, a bid has gone in. Everton are after him as well. But as it stands, nothing's been concluded. 26-year-old, plays for Lazio. He is a striker, 6'1". Many might have seen him playing for Lazio. Last season stats are 38 appearances, 11 goals, 6 assists, and his valuation is £27 million. Now, I've not seen much of him, so to be honest, I can't really comment on how much of a good striker he is. But as we all know at the moment, with the Harry Kane situation, do we go with one striker or are we going to sell Harry Kane and buy 2 strikers to replace him, potentially 3 strikers? We're not too sure. Good age at 26, 11 goals, 6 assists, so that's in total 17, 38. So it's a goal or an assist, almost one every 2 games. Lazio did quite well last season, and I think Everton are after him as well. It's one of these where we need a striker who's going to come in and settle straight into the club. Whether this guy can actually come in, settle in. He's played in the Italian league. Italian league is, is quite decent, so he should have had some experience. But again, coming into the English Premier League is completely different. Whether we can play him as a striker on his own, or whether we get another young lad, Vlahovic is one that's mentioned, Tammy Abrahams, maybe Danny Ings. Whether we can play 2 together, time will tell. But at the moment, there's nothing concrete. A bid has gone in, but that's about it. Next on the list, which is going to be a bit of a controversial one, in my opinion, but I'm going to go with it. It's a midfielder. I've liked this player before he left the arch rivals to go to Juventus, and that is Aaron Ramsey. I may or may not have mentioned him before. 30 years old, playing for Juventus at the moment. From what I believe, he's surplus to requirements and they are looking to offload him. Very, very high wages. I think 300, I've heard. We're not going to pay £300,000 for him anyway, but it is a good option to have in midfield. He's played quite well for Wales as well. Box-to-box player. Very good on the ball. Scores a lot of goals as well. 5'9". Last season, he played 30 times for Juventus, scoring twice, 5 assists. And at 12.6 million, I think it's a reasonable price to pay for a midfielder with a lot of experience. I know you'll all be saying, well, hold on a second, this guy, ex-Arsenal player. But as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm bothered, he's gone, left Arsenal, he's been Juventus for a couple of years. He's their player, he's no longer wanted, and he'd be a good addition to our squad. If anyone disagrees, I know people will, please like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments down below. And once they're picked up, I will comment. And if you've got any other players that you want to talk about, we will discuss this on Friday, maybe even next week. So Aaron Ramsey, for me, is a good potential midfielder. as long as we get rid of the likes of Winks, Sissoko as well, it'd be a very good addition in my opinion. But it's just whether this Arsenal connection is going to come into the equation and whether Daniel Levy feels that he's good enough. Next on the list is a centre-half currently playing at Brighton Hove Albion, 29-year-old Lewis Dunk, 6'2". Me personally thinks he's a very, very good defender, playing for a team that conceded a lot of goals last season. Dunk scored a few goals, assists, and he's very, very solid at the back. 29 years old. Last season, 37 appearances, 5 goals, and at £22.5 million, I think is a very good buy. British player as well. Lots and lots of Premiership experience, and 20 million would probably get him. But the problem is Brighton have just sold Ben White to Arsenal, so are they willing to accept another player, especially one of their talismans, to leave and join Spurs? Very good defender in my opinion. Could be, well, anything's going to be probably better than Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez. But let's see. No concrete offers been made, but this is another option out there. I know Romero's almost done and dusted. Anderson's now going to Crystal Palace, so he's out of the equation. So it's just a matter of whether Nuno Santos wants Lewis Dunk at the back. Next on the list is DJ Caleta-Car. Now this one, I've just heard this morning actually, plays for Marseille centre-back. I've heard a few rumours that the deal's been done and dusted. It's just a matter of formalities and the announcements. It's just one or two rumours that I've heard. There's a few people talking about it on Twitter as well. But this has just come out of nowhere. Paratici, I think, likes doing deals that are just coming out of nowhere. Galini one was come out of nowhere. Brian Gill just come out of nowhere. This one, it's, to be honest, not even giving me enough time to do any research on him. But 24-year-old centre-back, 6'2", 38 appearances, 2 goals and 1 assist, and is valued at 22.5 million. Now, again, 24 years old and 22.5 million, in my opinion, is quite good. Lot of time on his career. Like I said to you, I don't know much information about this guy. I've not done enough research. I've not heard much about him. But it's just going to be, if Paratici's put a bid in for him and the deal's almost concluded, then Paratici's seen something in him. Maybe he's one of these players that he's been looking at previously at Juventus. Who knows? We don't know. But if it does happen, it's going to be one of these players that we're just going to have to wait and put our judgment out as and when it happens and when he plays. If anybody out there has any information on Carr, if you've got any videos, if you know how good he is, especially if there's any French fans out there that follow the French league, please, in the comment section, please leave a few comments and tell us what you think about him, and we can pick that up. Finally, a player that Tottenham Hotspur let go when he was 16 years old for free to PSV Eindhoven. Noni Madueke, currently playing for PSV Eindhoven, has made a lot of progression at PSV. From what I seen and heard, he single-handedly helped him last season at the tender age of 19. There's a lot of good things coming out about him. A few clubs are after him. Played, I think the appearances I've got wrong. I think he played about 38 times last season, scored 9 goals and 8 assists. And that's coming from a winger. 14.4 million. Now, we let him go at 16 for free. Obviously, didn't think he was good enough. He's now been in the PSV for 3 seasons and is doing quite well. I believe PSV are after Bergwijn, and they've made a few calls. Nothing concrete yet. And there's a few people saying we should swap Bergwijn for this guy, bring him back to Spurs. Personally, I wouldn't bring him back as a straight swap deal with Bergwijn. I think Bergwijn's still got something to prove at Spurs. And if we are going to sell Bergwijn, then I think Ajax are after him. 25 million at least we'll be looking at Bergwijn. This one, Madueke is valued at 14.4 million, but his goals and assist ratio is quite good. 9 goals and 8 assists last season, and he did stir up the league last season, and there's a lot of good things coming about him. So if we're going to get him back, then 14-15 million pound is a good price to pay for him. It's whether the young lad being rejected at 16, being sold to PSV, is whether he's going to be on his brain, in his head, and it's one of them whether he wants to come back to Spurs. So that's the 5 players for today. Just keeping it short and simple. Once again, please like, subscribe, share, and leave comments underneath. And hopefully on Friday's show with a guest on board, we will discuss any other players that you have in mind, as well as these ones, as well as Galini, Brian Gill. Hopefully Romero will have signed for Spurs, and strikers. We might have a big discussion on strikers. So Sid Says, come back on Friday and we'll have some more information.